Representative Primicius Agabas.
To the Committee on Health.
House Bill 3017, regulating the use of bicycle as an alternative mode of transportation by Representative Primicius Agabas.
To the Committee on Transportation.
House Bill 3018, modernizing the parole and probation administration by Representative Roman.
To the Committee on Justice.
House Bill 3019, mandating public telecommunication entities and internet service providers to institute a refund mechanism for service outages and disruptions by Representative Plato.
To the Committee on Information and Communications Technology.
House Bill 3020, strengthening the regulatory and professional practice of midwifery in the Philippines by Representative Plato.
The Committee on Civil Service and Professional Regulation.
House Bill 3021, establishing a comprehensive, integrated, and sustainable reintegration program for overseas Filipino workers by Representative Plato.
To the Committee on Overseas Workers Affairs.
House Bill 3022, establishing the National Framework for Water Resource Management and creating the Department of Water Resources and the Water Regulatory Commission by Representative Tupas.
To the Committee on Public Works and Highways and the Committee on Government Reorganization.
House Bill 3023, expanding the coverage of espionage.
To the Committee on Revision of Laws.
House Bill 3024, granting civil service eligibility to graduates of the Philippine Military Academy by Representative Tupas.
To the Committee on Civil Service and Professional Regulation.
House Bill 3025, amending certain sections of the Domestic Shipping Development Acts of 2004 by Representative Romualdo.
To the Committee on Trade and Industry.
House Bill 3026, promoting transparency and strengthening bank mechanisms in the operation of banks by Representative Romualdo.
To the Committee on Banks and Financial Intermediaries.
House Bills 3027 and 3028, converting certain elementary schools in La Paz and Calarian, Zamboanga City into integrated schools by Representative Chuatay.
To the Committee on Basic Education and Culture.
House Bill 3029, creating one additional branch of the RTC in the 4th Judicial Region to be stationed in Infanta, Quezon by Representative Enverga.
To the Committee on Justice.
House Bill 3030, establishing the University of Eastern Philippines Satellite Campus in San Antonio, Northern Samar by Representative Daza.
To the Committee on Higher and Technical Education.
House Bill 3031, establishing a legal scholarship and return service program for qualified and deserving students by Representative Marcoleta.
To the Committee on Higher and Technical Education.
House Bill 3032, expanding the scope of medical practice by Representative Marcoleta.
To the Committee on Civil Service and Professional Regulation and the Committee on Health.
House Bill 3033, expanding the purpose and application of the Special Education Fund by Representative Marcoleta.
To the Committee on Local Government.
House Bill 3034, establishing a lifeline rate for internet services by Representative Marcoleta.
To the Committee on Information and Communications Technology.
House Bill 3035, granting benefits to job order, casual, and contract of service employees working in the government by Representative Marcoleta.
To the Committee on Civil Service and Professional Regulation.
House Bill 3036, granting special civil service eligibilities to qualified individuals by Representative Marcoleta.
To the Committee on Civil Service and Professional Regulation.
House Bill 3037, integrating road safety education in the K-12 basic education curriculum by Representative Marcoleta.
To the Committee on Basic Education and Culture.
House Bill 3038, establishing a national framework for the mandatory environmental insurance coverage of environmentally critical projects by
To the Committee on
Representative
Ecology.
Marcoleta. House Bill 3039, regulating the use of treatment technology for municipal and hazardous waste by Representative Marcoleta.
To the Committee on Ecology.
House Bill 3040, promoting the adoption of solar energy or any equivalent renewable energy technology in all government buildings and offices by Representative Marcoleta.
To the Committee on Energy.
House Bill 3041, strengthening the Commission on Human Rights as a national human rights institution by Representative Abante.
To the Committee on Human Rights.
House Bill 3042, converting the Dr. Eva Macapagal National Center for Geriatric Health under the Jose R. Reyes Memorial Medical Center as the National Center for Geriatric Health and Research Institute by Representative Abante.
To the Committee on Health.
House Bill 3043, recognizing, defining, and protecting the rights of heterosexuals by Representative Abante.
To the Committee on Women and Gender Equality.
House Bill 3044, imposing the death penalty for specific crimes by Representative Abante.
To the Committee on Justice.
House Bill 3045, prohibiting and penalizing the production, publication, distribution, and exhibition of pornographic movies and materials, the exhibition of live sexual acts, and the uploading or posting of obscene materials through digital platforms by Representative Abante.
To the Committee on Public Information.
House Bill 3046, defining parental rights and authority over minor and unemancipated children by Representative Abante.
To the Committee on Welfare of Children.
House Bill 3047, establishing national preventive mechanism and compliance with the optional protocol to the Convention Against Torture and other cruel, inhuman, or degrading treatment or punishment by Representative Abante.
To the Committee on Human Rights.
House Bill 3048, creating the Department of Technical Education and Skills Development by Representative Abante.
To the Committee on Higher and Technical Education.
House Bill 3049, regulating the production, distribution, recycle, and disposal of single-use plastic products by Representative Abante.
To the Committee on Ecology.
House Bill 3050, ensuring zero hunger for all Filipinos by Representative Abante.
To the Committee on Human Rights.
House Bill 3051, reinstituting the ROTC in grades 11 and 12 in all public and private educational institutions by Representative Abante.
To the Committee on Higher and Technical Education and the Committee on Basic Education and Culture.
House Bill 3052, regulating foreign adversary controlled applications by Representative Abante.
To the Committee on Information and Communications Technology.
House Bill 3053, granting the Metropolitan Bible Baptist Church, Santa Ana, Manila, Inc., a franchise for radio and television broadcasting stations in the Philippines by Representative Abante.
To the Committee on Legislative Franchises.
House Bill 3054, adjusting the payment and remittances of taxes to the government of all special economic zones by Representative Abante.
To the Committee on Ways and Means.
House Bill 3055, establishing the National Center for Cooperative Studies in the PUP by Representative Abante.
To the Committee on Higher and Technical Education.
House Bill 3056, repealing the Downstream Oil Industry Deregulation Act of 1998 by Representative Abante.
To the Committee on Energy.
House Bill 3057, granting additional powers to the MTRCB by Representative Abante.
To the Committee on Public Information.
House Bill 3058, transferring and turning over to LGUs the administration, management, and control of parks of national significance and historic landmarks by Representative Abante.
To the Committee on Local Government.
House Bill 3059, requiring free parking in various establishments for senior citizens, persons with disabilities, and solo parents by Representative Abante.
The Committee on Trade and Industry.
House Bill 3060, increasing the salaries of public and private healthcare workers or providers
To the
by
Committee on
Representative
Appropriations.
Abante. House Bill 3061, amending the Family Code of the Philippines by Representative Abante.
Committee on Revision of Laws.
House Bill 3062, exempting church ministers, priests, rabbis, and imams from securing a government license to solemnize marriage by
To the
Representative
Committee on
Abante.
Revision of Laws.
House Bill 3063, exempting Bibles and other religious articles and certain merchandise from taxes, duties, and fees and other charges, exempting churches from the requirement of tax exemption certificates in availing tax exemptions by Representative Abante.
To the Committee on Ways and Means.
House Bill 3064, providing subsidy allowance for all elderly farmers, fisher folks, and drivers by Representative Abante.
Committee on Senior Citizens.
House Bill 3065, amending Sections 3A and 14 of RA 11641, creating the Department of Migrant Workers by Representative Abante.
To the Committee on Overseas Workers Affairs.
House Bill 3066, establishing dangerous drugs courts by Representative Abante.
To the Committee on Justice.
House Bill 3067, creating a Department of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources by Representative Abante.
To the Committee on Aquaculture and Fisheries Resources and the Committee on Government Reorganization.
House Bill 3068, constituting a constitutional convention to amend the 1987 Philippine Constitution by Representative Abante.
To the Committee on Constitutional Amendments.
House Bill 3069, establishing a Barangay Human Rights Action Center in every barangay in the country by Representative Abante.
To the Committee on Local Government.
House Bill 3070, strengthening the Citizen Armed Forces Geographical Unit Active Auxiliaries of the AFP by Representative Abante.
To the Committee on National Defense and Security.
House Bill 3071, to include the study of the Bible as literature in the curricula of all public and private schools, colleges, and universities, authorizing the printing and distribution thereof by Representative Abante.
To the Committee on Basic Education and Culture and the Committee on Higher and Technical Education.
House Bill 3072, providing social security and additional benefits to all barangay officials, workers, and volunteers by Representative Abante.
To the Committee on Local Government.
House Bill 3073, establishing Apex hospitals in every region of the country by Representative Abante.
To the Committee on Health.
House Bill 3074, prohibiting discrimination based on ethnicity, race, religion or belief, sex or gender or sexual orientation, language, disability, educational attainment, and other forms of discrimination by Representative Abante.
To the Committee on Human Rights.
House Bill 3075, regulating online gambling in the Philippines by Representative Garbin.
To the Committee on Games and Amusements.
House Bill 3076, providing for enhanced protection, security, benefits, and incentives for news and media workers by Representative Roman.
To the Committee on Labor and Employment.
House Bills 3077, 3079 to 3082, granting legislative franchises to certain electric cooperatives in the provinces of Camarines Norte, Camarines Sur, Pangasinan, Zambales, and Zamboanga del Norte, respectively, by Representatives De Jesus and Dagook.
Committee on Legislative Franchises.
House Bill 3078, extending the existing franchise of Camarines Sur 1 Electric Cooperative, Inc. by Representatives De Jesus and Dagook.
Committee on Legislative Franchises.
House Bill 3083, granting a legislative franchise to Bohol Lights Company, Inc. by Representative Yap John Gisnel.
To the Committee on Legislative Franchises.
House Bill 3084, providing for daycare centers rehabilitation and improvement program by Representative M. Verga.
To the Committee on Welfare of Children.
House Bill 3085, creating the National Eye Center by Representative M. Verga.
To the Committee on Health.
House Bill 3086, providing non-wage benefits for public school teachers by Representative M. Verga.
To the Committee on Basic Education and Culture and the Committee on Higher and Technical Education.
House Bill 3087, exempting senior citizens from the payment of any fees for the issuance of barangay certifications by Representative Ordanes.
To the Committee on Senior Citizens.
House Bill 3088, creating a regional engineering office and component district engineering offices of the DPWH for the BARM by Representatives Adjong and Balindong.
To the Committee on Public Works and Highways.
House Bill 3089, institutionalizing and strengthening the Arabic language and Islamic Values Education Program in all public and private basic education schools by Representatives Adjong and Balindong.
To the Committee on Basic Education and Culture.
House Bill 3090, declaring the 3 nautical miles surrounding the Kalayaan Island and Group and Scarborough Shoal in the West Philippine Sea as marine protected area by Representative Legazpi.
To the Committee on Natural Resources.
House Bill 3091, transferring the supervision and control over the provincial, sub-provincial, and district jails from the provincial government to the Bureau of Jail Management and Penology by Representative Tan.
To the
Keith
Committee on
Micah.
Justice.
House Bill 3092, establishing a national patient navigation and referral system by Representatives Tan, Keith, Micah, and Montes.
To the Committee on Health.
House Bill 3093, to promote sports development through responsible autonomy of national sports associations and to strengthen the role of the state in their governance and management by Representative Tan,
To the
Keith,
Committee on
Micah.
Youth and Sports Development.
House Bill 3094, strengthening the Katarungang Pambarangay by Representative Tan, Keith, Micah.
Committee on Local Government.
House Bill 3095, institutionalizing a national oral health program by Representative
To
Tan,
the Committee
Keith,
on
Micah.
Health.
House Bill 3096, institutionalizing the skills training program, providing job opportunities to persons deprived of liberty by Representative
The
Tan,
Committee on
Keith,
Higher and
Micah.
Technical Education.
House Bill 3097, establishing at least one medical school in every region of the country by
To
Representative
the
Tan,
Committee
Keith,
on Higher
Micah.
and Technical Education.
House Bill 3098, identifying tourism development areas in the province of Quezon, creating the Quezon Tourism Council by Representative
To the
Tan.
Committee on
Keith Mike.
Tourism.
House Bill 3099, establishing a national integrated program to prevent and treat psoriasis as a public health problem by Representative
To the
Tan.
Committee
Keith
on
Mike.
Health.
House Bill 3100, regulating the organization and operation of community fund pooling or paluwagan groups by Representative
To the Committee
Lacson.
on Micro, Small, and Medium Enterprise Development.
House Bill 3101, declaring the National Election Day as a regular non-working holiday, amending for the purpose RA 7166, providing for synchronized national and local elections and for electoral reforms.
The Committee on Suffrage and Electoral Reforms.
House Bill 3102, declaring the National Election Day as a regular non-working holiday, amending for the purpose the Administrative Code of the Philippines by Representative Fantebella.
To the Committee on Suffrage and Electoral Reforms.
House Bill 3103, mandating the adoption of climate adaptive occupational health measures by Representative Fantebella.
Committee on Labor and Employment.
House Bill 3104, mandating the adoption of climate adaptive occupational health measures by Representative
To the Committee
Fantebella.
on Labor and Employment.
House Bill 3105, declaring the Banknev River Cave in Tibuli South, Cotabato as an ecotourism site by Representative
To
Tuan.
the Committee on Tourism.
House Bill 3106, dividing barangays Nambaran in Tabuk Kalinga into barangays Nambaran del Norte and Nambaran del Sur respectively by Representative Aguiao.
Committee on Local Government.
House Bill 3107, creating the National Flood Control Authority by Representative Barbers.
To the Committee on Public Works and Highways.
House Bill 3108, institutionalizing the one-child graduate per family program by Representative Plato.
To the Committee on Higher and Technical Education.
House Bill 3109, establishing the North Luzon Development Authority by Representative Bernos Ching.
To the Committee on Government Enterprises and Privatization.
House Bill 3110, institutionalizing community-based tourism in the Philippines by Representative Bernos Ching.
Committee on Tourism.
House Bill 3111, promoting and institutionalizing the development of neo-ethnic Philippine textile and handloom weaving industry by Representative Bernos Ching.
To the Committee on Trade and Industry.
House Bill 3112, establishing the Green Industrial Zone Program by Representative Bernos
To
Ching.
the Committee on Economic Affairs and the Committee on Trade and Industry.
House Bill 3113, providing for the sustainable management of forests and forest lands by Representative Bernos
To
Ching.
the Committee on Natural Resources.
House Bill 3114, establishing a Parent Effectiveness Development Service Program in every city and municipality by Representative Bernos Ching.
To the Committee on Welfare of Children.
House Bill 3115, establishing the Philippine Electronic Health or e-health system and services in support of the universal health care by Representative Bernos
To the
Ching.
Committee on Health.
House Bill 3116, the Magna Carta for Private School Teachers by Representative Bernos Ching.
To the Committee on Basic Education and Culture.
House Bill 3117, strengthening public health emergency preparedness in the Philippines by Representative Bernos Ching.
To the Committee on Health.
House Bill 3118, providing penalties for gender-based sexual harassment in the workplace and in educational and training institutions by Representative Bernos Ching.
To the Committee on Women and Gender Equality.
House Bill 3119, creating the Abra River Basin Development Authority by Representative Bernos Ching.
To the
JB.
Committee on Government Enterprises and Privatization.
House Bill 3120, declaring the province of Abra as a priority tourism development area by Representative Bernos JB.
To the Committee on Tourism.
House Bill 3121, converting Mark Israel B. Bernos Memorial National High School in Mudeng, La Paz, Abra into Mark Israel B. Bernos Memorial National Science High School by Representative Bernos JB.
To the Committee on Basic Education and Culture.
House Bill 3122, creating one additional branch of the RTC in the 1st Judicial Region to be stationed in La Paz, Abra by Representative Bernos JB.
To the Committee on Justice.
House Bill 3123, promoting the development of the bamboo industry by Representative Bernos JB.
To the Committee on Agriculture and Food.
House Bill 3124, promoting local employment and retention of Filipino graduates and young professionals in the provinces through community-based workforce development by Representative Bernos JB.
To the Committee on Labor and Employment.
House Bill 3125, providing a framework to protect and promote the right to adequate food by Representative Bernos JB.
To the Committee on Human Rights.
House Bill 3126, mandating the use and utilization of on-grid solar energy systems in national and local government-owned buildings by Representative Bernos JB.
To the Committee on Energy.
House Bill 3127, shortening the mandatory service requirement for retirement benefits under the Government Service Insurance System to 10 years by Representative Makasaet.
to the Committee on Government Enterprises and Privatization,
House Bill 3128, establishing a TESDA Training and Assessment Center in Balete, Aklan by Representative Marquez.
to the Committee on Higher and Technical Education,
House Bill 3129, establishing regional branches of specialty hospitals by Representative Almonte.
to the Committee on Health,
House Bill 3130, establishing the Balanga City TESDA Training and Assessment Center in Bataan by Representative Nisay.
to the Committee on Higher and Technical Education,
House Bill 3131, mandating the full rehabilitation, upgrading, and maintenance of the Roman Superhighway in the province of Bataan by Representative Nisay.
to the Committee on Public Works and Highways,
House Bill 3132, converting Capitol Drive in Balanga, Bataan into a national road by Representative Nisay.
to the Committee on Public Works and Highways,
House Bill 3133, establishing a multi-species marine hatchery in Pilar, Bataan by Representative Nisay.
to the Committee on Public Works and Highways.
Sir, aquaculture and fisheries?
Is that correct?
116. 116. Aquaculture and fisheries.
Okay. To the Committee on Aquaculture and Fisheries Resources,
House Bill 3134, establishing a Maritime Industry Authority Regional Office in Balanga, Bataan by Representative Nisay.
to the Committee on Transportation,
House Bill 3135, establishing a regular campus of the Eastern Samar State University in Balangiga, Eastern Samar by Representatives Gonzales, Christopher Shin, and Libanan.
to the Committee on Higher and Technical Education,
House Bill 3136, converting the Arteche campus of the Eastern Samar State University located in Arteche, Eastern Samar into a regular campus by Representatives Gonzales, Christopher Shin, and Libanan.
to the Committee on Higher and Technical Education,
House Bill 3137, an act providing for the Magna Carta of Children by Representatives Romualdez Ferdinand Martin, Romualdez Sierra Marie, Romualdez Andrew Julian, and Asidre.
to the Committee on Welfare of Children,
House Bill 3138, an act providing for a Magna Carta of workers, enterprises, and organizations in the informal economy and institutionalizing mechanisms for recognition, integration, and transition to the formal economy for implementation thereof and for other purposes. By Representatives Romualdez Ferdinand Martin, Romualdez Sierra Marie, Romualdez Andrew Julian, and Asidre.
to the Committee on Labor and Employment,
House Bill 3139, modernizing and right-sizing the Parole and Probation Administration by Representative Escudero.
to the Committee on Justice,
House Bill 3140, providing free immunization to all senior citizens by Representative Escudero.
to the Committee on Senior Citizens,
House Bill 3141, providing compensation for full-time housewives, unremunerated work, and crucial role to nation building by Representative Odocado.
to the Committee on Women and Gender Equality,
House Bill 3142, establishing the Overseas Filipino Workers Hospital as a Level 3 hospital under the direct supervision and control of the Department of Migrant Workers by Representative Odocado.
to the Committee on Health,
House Bill 3143, strengthening the mandatory immunization program by Representative Odocado.
to the Committee on Health,
House Bill 3144, establishing the National Framework for Water Resource Management and creating the Department of Water Resources and Water Regulatory Commission by Representative Villarica.
to the Committee on Public Works and Highways, and the Committee on Government Reorganization,
House Bill 3145, institutionalizing an emergency medical services system by Representative Villarica.
to the Committee on Health,
House Bill 3146, granting cash incentives to winning filmmakers, film production entities, literary writers, artists, and performers in the creative sector by Representative Villarica.
to the Special Committee on Creative Industries,
House Bill 3147, providing for the mandatory establishment, operation, and maintenance of dialysis ward in all national, provincial, and regional government hospitals for the treatment of indigent patients free of charge by Representative Villarica.
to the Committee on Health,
House Bill 3148, establishing the Rural Employment Assistance System by Representative Villarica.
to the Committee on Labor and Employment,
House Bill 3149, providing for alternative modes of voting for persons in vulnerable situations to exercise their right of suffrage by Representative Villarica.
to the Committee on Suffrage and Electoral Reforms,
House Bill 3150, regulating the operation of motorcycles for hire and providing penalties for violations thereof, by Representative Villarica.
To the Committee on Transportation.
House Bill 3151, to reform at certain functional assignments of LGUs, by Representative Villarica.
To the Committee on Local Government.
House Bill 3152, providing for the construction of rainwater catchment ponds in all flood-prone barangays nationwide, by Representative Villarica.
To the Committee on Public Works and Highways.
House Bill 3153, providing for a blended learning in the Philippine educational system, by Representative Villarica.
To the Committee on Basic Education and Culture.
House Bill 3154, providing for the construction and/or completion of Maasin City Convention Center in Maasin, Southern Leyte, by Representative Mercado.
To the Committee on Public Works and Highways.
House Bill 3155, institutionalizing people's participation in the national budgeting process, by Representative Mercado.
To the Committee on People's Participation.
House Bill 3156, declaring the municipalities of Macrohon, Tomas Opus, Bontoc in Southern Leyte as tourism zone, by Representative Mercado.
To the Committee on Tourism.
House Bill 3157, expanding the coverage of the National Feeding Program to include secondary schools, by Representative Adaide.
To the Committee on Basic Education and Culture.
House Bill 3158, providing for the issuance of a list of low-lying areas of the Philippine territory vulnerable to rising sea levels as a result of climate change and areas at high risk for natural disasters, by Representative Ataide.
To the Committee on Climate Change.
House Bill 3159, providing for a working time flexibilization in the private sector, by Representative Ataide.
To the Committee on Labor and Employment.
House Bill 3160, establishing the Vitali Medical Center as a Level 3 General Hospital in Vitali, City of Zamboanga under the direct supervision and control of the DOH, by Representative Perez.
To the Committee on Health.
House Bill 3161, establishing the Private Basic Education Voucher Program, by Representative Premisa Sagabas.
To the Committee on Basic Education and Culture.
Resolutions. House Resolution 111, congratulating and commending Team Liquid Philippines for winning the Mobile Legends Bang Bang Mid-Season Cup at the 2025 Esports World Cup in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, by Representative Plato.
To the Committee on Youth and Sports Development.
House Resolution 112, strongly urging the DOH to immediately remove the purchase slip booklet as a mandatory requirement in the purchase of medicines and health-related goods for PWDs, by Representative Romualdo.
To the Special Committee on Persons with Disabilities.
House Resolution 113, directing the House Committee on Health to conduct an inquiry into the implementation of the Mental Health Act, by Representative Adyong.
To the Committee on Rules.
House Resolution 114, urging CAAP to direct all airline companies landing in the Laguindingan Airport to properly include Misamis Oriental in their in-flight announcements, by Representative Emano.
To the Committee on Transportation.
House Resolution 115, urging the appropriate committee to conduct an inquiry on the responsible and ethical use of AI in the Philippine education system, by Representative Escudero.
To the Committee on Rules.
House Concurrent Resolution 3, establishing the Philippine Congress Bangsamoro Parliament Forum, by Representatives Adyong and Balindong.
To the Committee on Local Government.
Messages from the Senate. Message dated August 5, 2025, informing the House of Representatives that on July 28, 2025, the Senate concurred with House Concurrent Resolution Number 1, providing for the Senate and the House to hold a joint session to hear the message of the President of the Republic of the Philippines.
To the Committee on Rules.
Message dated August 5, 2025, informing the House that on July 30, the Senate adopted Senate Concurrent Resolution 2, providing for the legislative calendar for the first regular session of the 20th Congress of the Philippines, in which it requests the concurrence of the House of Representatives.
To the Committee on Rules.
Communications. Letter dated July 24, 2025 of the Executive Secretary, Office of the President, Malacanang, transmitting two original copies of Republic Act Number 12229, entitled Declaring a Parcel of Land in San Francisco, Quezon, a Protected Area, which was signed by President Ferdinand Romualdez Marcos Jr.
To the Archives.
Report dated July 8, 2025 of the Secretary General, House of Representatives, on enrolled copies of House Bill 2617 and House Bill 9396 on declaring the waters surrounding Panaon Island in Southern Leyte as the Panaon Island Protected Seascape, which were returned to the Senate on even date and to be transmitted to the Office of the President for His Excellency's consideration and signature pursuant to Section 18H, Rule 6 of the Rules of the House of Representatives. Report dated July 14, 2025 of the Secretary General of the House on copies of the following enrolled bills which were returned to the Senate on July 10, 2025 and to be transmitted to the Office of the President for His Excellency's consideration and signature pursuant to Section 18H, Rule 6 of the Rules of the House. Senate Bill 2615 and House Bill 8394 declaring a parcel of land in Mayantok and San Jose Tarlac a protected area. Consolidated version of Senate Bill 890 and House Bill 7240, optimizing the national government for efficient public service delivery. Consolidated version of Senate Bill 2816 and House Bill 11287, setting the term of office of barangay officials and members of the Sangguniang Kabataan. And consolidated version of Senate Bill 2982 and House Bill 11358, defining the scope and extent of the fiscal autonomy of the judicial branch of the government. Report dated July 29, 2025, the Honorable Secretary General, House of Representatives, on enrolled copies of Senate Bill 2699 and House Bill 6, establishing a comprehensive and inclusive data transmission and connectivity framework for the Philippines, which were returned to the Senate on July 24, 2025, and to be transmitted to the Office of the President for His Excellency's consideration and signature, pursuant to Section 18H, Rule 6 of the Rules of the House. Report dated July 30 of the Secretary General, House of Representatives, on enrolled copies of House Bill 10535, amending Sections 134 and 168 of the National Internal Revenue Code of 1997, which were transmitted on even date to the Office of the President for His Excellency's consideration and signature pursuant to Section 18H, Rule 6 of the Rules of the House. Report dated August 4, 2025 of the Secretary General, House of Representatives, on copies of the following enrolled bills which were transmitted on July 31, 2025 to the Office of the President for His Excellency's consideration and signature pursuant to Section 18H, Rule 6 of the Rules of the House. House Bill 3969, declaring March 7 of every year a special working holiday in Samal, Davao del Norte. House Bill 5598, declaring Maasin City and Malitbog and Padre Burgos all in Southern Leyte as tourism zone. House Bill 5824, House Bill 5829, House Bill 5844, House Bill 5846, House Bills 9488, 9489, 9492, 9494, 9496, and House Bill 9601, House Bill 11162, consolidated version of House Bill 7327 and Senate Bill 2781, and consolidated version of House Bill 8937 and Senate Bill 2826.
Okay. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move to suspend session for a few minutes.
Session suspended.
We recognize the guests of the representative of the 2nd District of Palawan, Representative Jose Chavez Alvarez. They are the officials.
Session resumed. Majority Leader.
Okay. Ay, sorry.
Yes, already.
Mr. Speaker, may we recognize the guests of the representative of the 2nd District of Palawan, Representative Jose Chavez Alvarez. They are the officials from the municipality of Dr. Jose P. Rizal, province of Palawan, as follows: Mayor Norman S. Ong, Vice Mayor Maria Gracia M. Zapanta, Sangguniang Bayan Member Kim B. Apostol, Sangguniang Bayan Member Jethro L. Digilio, Sangguniang Bayan Member Halil Insani, Sangguniang Bayan Member Rolly M. Badenas, Sangguniang Bayan Member Harvey L. Mongcal, Sangguniang Bayan Member Termegi D. Tarbok, Municipal Administrator Edgar B. Monte, Executive Assistant 2 Razil S. Zapanta, Liga ng mga Barangay President Ferdinand N. Cu, Punong Barangay Ricky L. Bacalso, Punong Barangay Eugenio H. Banyaflor, Punong Barangay Raul B. Berto, Punong Barangay Roberto V. Himaya, Punong Barangay Ronaldo T. Cu, Punong Barangay Renaldo S. Cortaje, Punong Barangay Alvin J. Marcy, Punong Barangay Godfrey B. Gapilango, Punong Barangay Samuel T. Serna, Barangay Kagawad Miriam V. Macauling, Mr. Fahad R. Abubakar.
To the guests of Honorable Alvarez, welcome to the House of Representatives. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, may we also recognize the guest of our representative from ACT Teachers Party List, Honorable Antonio L. Tino. They are the following: Ronnie Manalo, Imelda Tabiando, Felipe Yele, Perla Pavillar, John Urbel M. Boreta, Jeverlyn Seguin, and Narcisa de la Cruz. Dumagat Remontado.
To the guests of Honorable Tino, welcome to the House of Representatives. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, we would like to recognize the guests of Representative of Arthur Celeste, 1st District of Pangasinan, Representative Mark Coangco, 2nd District of Pangasinan, Representative Rachel Arenas, 3rd District of Pangasinan. Yes, from District. Representative Maria Georgina de Venecia, 4th District of Pangasinan, Representative Ramon Guico, 5th District of Pangasinan, Representative Marlene Premisias Agavas, 6th District of Pangasinan, visitors from the Philippines Councilors League of Province of Pangasinan. The following are Honorable Martin Raul Sison, Orbestundo Municipality, Honorable Anapel Marie Cruz Lauria, Rosales Municipality, Honorable John Marioni Fontilera, Alaminos City, Honorable Maria Teresa Perez Nagiat, Municipality of Ordanita City, Honorable Audrey Jamel Susan Sison, Municipality of Villasis, Honorable Jalen F. Alipio, Municipality of Benmali, Honorable Vincent Nathaniel Silverio Arenas, Municipality of Malasiki, Honorable Ronaldo Katabay, Municipality of Bani, Honorable Gab Macaraeg, Municipality of Lingayen, Honorable Carmina Rosuelo, San Carlos City, Honorable Marian Dominical Ching, Municipality of Manawag, Honorable Rolly Abalos, Municipality of Mangaldan, Honorable William Aradanas, Municipality of Binalonan, Honorable Monica Ramos, Municipality of Basista, and last, Honorable Michael D., Municipality of Tayog.
To all the guests of Honorable Celeste, Honorable Coangco, Honorable Arenas, Honorable De Venecia, Honorable Guico Jr., and Honorable Primicias Agabas, welcome to the House of Representatives. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, may we recognize our guests in the gallery. They are the guests of Honorable Representative Jaime Eduardo Mark Coangco of 1st District, Tarlac. They are Mayor Japi Dedius from the Municipality of Anao, Mayor Joyce Agustin, former Mayor Erlon Agustin from the Municipality of Camiling, Mayor Iluminado Pobre Jr. from the Municipality of Mayantok, Mayor Ramon Benito Aquino from Municipality of Moncada, Mayor Kath Rojas from Municipality of Panique, Mayor Attorney John Paul Balmores from Municipality of Pura, Mayor Celso Banag from Municipality of Ramos, Mayor Roseller Toledo from Municipality of San Clemente, Mayor Doña Crescencia Tesoro from Municipality of San Manuel, Mayor Nathaniel Bongtan from Municipality of Santa Ignacia.
To all the mayors, guests of Honorable Mark Cojuangco, welcome to the House of Representatives. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, may we recognize our guests in the gallery. They are the guests of Honorable Representative Percival Sendanya of Akbayan Party List. They are officers of Samahang Katandaang Kaagapay ni Kapitan or SKK of Barangay Mayapyap Sur, Cabanatuan City, led by their President Lunas Sendanya, the mother of Akbayan, Representative Percival Sendanya, with the officers, board members, their advisor, Barangay Captain Raquel Mendina, and members of the Sangguniang Barangay. They are Lunas Sendanya, Lolita Jimenez, Florida San Juan, Florliza Cruz, Antonio Jimenez, Jacinta Catalbas, Benjamin Ercilio, Lolita Ercilio, Rolando Perez, Amor Perez, Flor Arenas, Teresita Reyes, Marilyn Morrison, Celia Mangulabnan, Crisologo Santos, Anastasio Rilera, Shirley Parungao, Eleanor Santos, Ofelia Cuevas, Cesar Legaspi, Cecilia Gonzalez, Marieta Rilo, Rachel Medina, Richard Medina, Delphine Macapagal, Christina Dawal.
To all the guests of Honorable Percy Sendanya, including his beloved mother, welcome to the House of Representatives. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, may I request that we recognize the guests of the Honorable Jose Manuel Chel Jokno from the Akbayan Party List, Representative Percy Sendana from the Akbayan Party List, and Representative Dada Kiram Ismula from the Akbayan Party List as follows, Mr. Speaker. Matthew Silverio, Secretary General, Student Council Alliance of the Philippines. Nari Loida Jean Ramos, NCRB Area Coordinator, Multiply Ed and Center for Advocacy and Networking. Xavier Hadulco, Akbayan Youth and Cento PNU. Benji Oliva, Core Team Multiply Ed. Juan de la Cruz, Sapang Palay National High School SSLG. Andre Rudolph Conseja, Core Team Multiply Ed. And JP Cordova from the Akbayan Youth, Your Honor. Mr. Speaker.
To all the guests of Honorable Chel Diokno, the Honorable Percy Sendanya, and the Honorable Dada Kiram Esmula, welcome to the House of Representatives. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, may we recognize the guests of the Honorable Laarni Lavin Roque, representative from the 4th District of Bukidnon, and Ramon Jolo Revilla III, representative of the 1st District of Cavite, namely from the NLRC or National Labor Relations Commission, Chairperson Grace Maniquis Tan, Presiding Commissioner Dolores Belay, Presiding Commissioner Agnes Lucero de Grano, Commissioner Gina Escoto, Commissioner Donna Ramos, Commissioner Hernan Nicdao, Commissioner Gavino Meneses Jr., Commissioner Mary Ann Plata Deitia, Retired Presiding Commissioner Grace Venus, Executive Labor Arbiter Paz Eugenia Desanco, Labor Arbiter Salvador Alcuncio Jr., Labor Arbiter Leilani Brasa Oro, Labor Arbiter Jennifer Santos, Labor Arbiter Sherwin J. Kasurao, Labor Arbiter John Sabilla, Labor Arbiter Kathy Parado, and Labor Arbiter Romeo Fabregas, Mr. Speaker.
To the distinguished guests from the NLRC family, guests of Honorable Laarni Roque and Honorable Jolo Revilla III, welcome to the House of Representatives. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, may we acknowledge the guest of Representative Honorable Brian Poe from FPJ Panday Bayanihan Party List. They are the delegates from Cavite, Pilipinas 13 under, coaches Peter Paul Segundo, Michael Serra, Francis Glenn Cortegere, Richard Flores, Robinson Buhat, and players John Carlo Vidal, Jill Gallardo, Boss Ryan Dulce, William Agunluan, Prince Amaro Somodio, Jake Deraya, Luke Penares, Kim Casanada, Aljur Velasco, Kyle Santos, Cody Flores. And may we also acknowledge the guests of Honorable Dimsar Sali from the Lone District of Tawi-Tawi, officials and teaching and non-teaching personnel of Tawi-Tawi Regional Agricultural College, TRAC, Dr. Siti Amina Muhammad, President, Dr. Al-Ghazir Kandon, Vice President for Academic Affairs, Ms. Nurhaida Halidin, Associate Professor 2, Ms. Sudin Humala, Planning Officer 3, Ms. Marisa Hassan, Instructor 3, Al-Gabid Arahani, Instructor 1, R. Hamid Adharal, Instructor 1, Speaker.
To the distinguished guests of Honorable Ryan Poe and the distinguished guests of Honorable Sally, welcome to the House of Representatives. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, on the part of the majority, I move to nominate and elect as Deputy Speaker, Representative Yevgeny Vicente B. Emano.
Is there any objection? Hearing none, the motion is approved.
Mr. Speaker, on the part of the majority, I move to nominate and elect to the Commission on Appointments as members Romeo M. Acop, Eddie Bong, G. Plaza, Roy M. Loyola, Arnie Fuentabella. To the Committee on the House of Representatives Electoral Tribunal, as members, Brian Raymond Yamsuan, Solomon R. Chungalao, Elizalde S. Co. To the Committee on Appropriations, as Vice Chairpersons, Reynante U. Arrogancia, Ed Christopher S. Go, Antonino G. Calixto, Gerardo Jerryboy Espina Jr., Carl Cari, Roger G. Mercado, Danto S. Garcia, Christopherson Coco M. Yap, Sancho F. Ominal, Julian Jam L. Boronda, Lalo T. Matugas, Josefina Taliado, Cristina Talavera Lopez. To the Committee on Agrarian Reform, as Vice Chairpersons, Imelda Kibrana de Maporo, Sonny Lagon. As members, Keith Tan, Emigdio Tanhuatco III, Florencio Miraflores, Ferdinand Beltran, Gurley Veloso. To the Committee on Agriculture and Food, as Vice Chairpersons, Eddie Bong Plaza, Tsuyoshi Horibata, Alfredo Marañon III, Jude Asidre, Alfredo Garbin Jr., as members, Solomon R. Chungalao, Arnie Fuentabella, Lolita Javier, Reynante Arrogancia, Jaime Coanco, Mark Coanco, Marie Escudero, Timothy Caiton, King Colliantes, Jesus Marquez, Alfelito Bascug, Danilo Domingo, Agustina Dominique Pancho, Dimsar Sali, Miguel Villafuerte, Francisco Barzaga, Carlos Loria, Sun Shimura, Vincenzo Villafuerte, Rosalie Salvame, Rudy Kawagdagan, Romeo Momo, Bernadette Barbers, Munir Arbison, Caroline Tanchay, Milagros Aquina Magsaysay, Nina Francesca P. Lacson, Cristina Talavera Lopez, Henry Ominal, Jr., Andrew Romualdez, Kenneth Tereng, Gurley Veloso, Manuel Manmanco. To the Committee on Aquaculture and Fisheries Resources, as Vice Chairpersons, Keith Tan, Sun Chimora. As members, Antonio Legarda, Florencio Miraflores, King Colliantes, Jesus Marquez, Dimsar Sali, Miguel Villafuerte, Angelo Marcos Barba. To the Committee on Banks and Financial Intermediaries, as Vice Chairperson, Antonio Legarda Jr. As members, Julio Ledesma IV, King Colliantes. To the Committee on Civil Service and Professional Regulation, as Vice Chairperson, Giselle Maceda. As members, Siriaco Gato and Patricia Calderon. To the Committee on Climate Change, as Vice Chairpersons, Emmanuel L. Iway. As members, Monique, Yasmin Maria Lagdameo, Rebecca Inares. To the Committee on Constitutional Amendments, as Vice Chairpersons, King Colliantes, and as member, Emigdio Tanhuatco III. To the Committee on Disaster Resilience, as members, Siriaco Gato and Timothy Caiton. To the Committee on Ecology, as members, Jesus S. R. Marquez, Rebecca Inares. To the Committee on Economic Affairs, as members, Keith Tan, Emigdio Tanhuatco, and Julio Ledesma. To the Committee on Energy, as Vice Chairpersons, Arnie Fuentabella. As members, Mercedes Chairperson, Emigdio Tanhuatco III, Rebecca Inares, Leo de Tariela. As members, Siriaco Gato, Mercedes Alvarez, King Colliantes, Dennis L. Hernandez, Jocelyn P. Tulfo. To the Committee on Games and Amusements, as Vice Chairpersons, Arnie B. Fuentabella, Carmelo Lasatin, Solomon R. Chungalao, Wilfrido Anverga, Jose Alvarez, Mercedes Alvarez, Jose Garcia, Florencio Miraflores, Mark Anthony Santos. To the Committee on Government Enterprises and Privatization, as members, Arnie Fuentabella, Emigdio Tanhuatco III, and Jesus Marquez. To the Committee on Health, as Vice Chairperson, Marlesa Doc Marley Hofer Hasim. To the Committee on Housing and Urban Development, as Vice Chairpersons, Kenneth Gatchalian, Mark Anthony Santos, Katrina Reiko Chuatay. As members, Solomon R. Chungalao, Arnie Fuentabella, Roman Romulo, Jose Alvarez, Jose Garcia. To the Committee on Interparliamentary Relations and Diplomacy, as Vice Chairpersons, Rebecca Inares and Jocelyn P. Tulfo. As members, Mercedes Alvarez, Emigdio Tanhuatco III, Patricia Calderon, King Colliantes, and Dennis Hernandez. To the Committee on Justice, as Vice Chairperson, Jose C. Alvarez. As members, Emigdio Tanhuatco III and King Colliantes. To the Committee on Labor and Employment, as Vice Chairpersons, Mark Anthony Santos. As members, Roman Romulo, Julio Ledesma, King Colliantes, Emmanuel Iway, and Jocelyn Tulfo. To the Committee on Legislative Franchises, as Vice Chairpersons, Jose Arturo S. Garcia, Jr., and as members, Mercedes Alvarez, Noel Rivera, Emigdio Tanhuatco III, Monique Lagdameo, King Colyantes, and Mark Anthony Santos. To the Committee on Local Government, as Vice Chairpersons, Monique Lagdameo and Julius Cesar J. Vergara. As members, Romanti Romulo, Mercedes Alvarez, Jose Garcia, Dennis Hernandez, Jesus Marquez, and Mark Anthony Santos. To the Committee on Metro Manila Development, as Vice Chairperson, Ralph Wendell P. Tulfo. As members, Roman Romulo, Jose Garcia, Monique Lagdameo, Dennis Almario, Giselle Maceda, Mark Anthony Santos. To the Committee on Micro, Small, and Medium Enterprise Development, as members, Emmanuel Iway, Rebecca Inares. To the Committee on Muslim Affairs, as Vice Chairpersons, Imelda Dimaporo. To the Committee on National Defense and Security, as Vice Chairpersons, Mercedes K. Alvarez. To the Committee on Natural Resources, as Vice Chairperson, Alexander T. Pimentel. As members, Solomon Chongalao, Arnie Fuentabella, Siriaco Gato, Mark Coanco, Jose Garcia, and Mark Anthony Santos. To the Committee on North Luzon Growth Quadrangle, as Vice Chairperson, Siriaco Gato. As members, Solomon Chungalao, Ian D., Eleanor Bulut Begtang, Mark Coanco, Ronald Singson, Timothy Kaiton. To the Committee on People's Participation, as member, Solomon R. Chungalao. To the Committee on Population and Family Relations, as member, Romanti Romulo. To the Committee on Poverty Alleviation, as member, Salvador A. Plato. To the Committee on Public Works and Highways, as Vice Chairperson, Munir Arbison, Ronald Singson, Jesus R. Marquez. As members, Solomon R. Chungalao, Siriaco Gato, Mark Coanco, Jose Garcia, Noel Rivera, Emigdio Tanhuatco III, Kenneth Gatchalian, Emmanuel Iway, and Mark Anthony Santos. To the Committee on Revision of Laws, as members, Keith Tan and King Colyantes. To the Committee on Rural Development, as members, Wilfredo Inverga and Timothy Kaiton. To the Committee on Science and Technology, as members, Romanti Romulo and Mark Coanco. To the Committee on Senior Citizens, as Vice Chairpersons, Jose Alvarez, Rosalie Salvame. As members, Timothy Kaiton, Victoria Copilar, Eulogio Leo R. Rodriguez. To the Committee on Suffrage and Electoral Reforms, as Vice Chairpersons, Emigdio Tanhuatco III, Maximo Dalog Jr. As members, Solomon Chungalao, Jose Alvarez, and King Colyantes. To the Committee on Tourism, as Vice Chairpersons, Romel Angara, Jose Alvarez, and Imelda Dimaporo. As members, Wilfredo Mark and Varga, Arnie Fuentabella, Ronald Singson, Patricia Calderon, Jess Marquez, and Rebecca Inares. To the Committee on Transportation, as Vice Chairpersons, Reynante Arrogancia and Emigdio Tanhuatco III. As members, Mark Enverga, Siriaco Gato, Jose Alvarez, Jose Garcia, Patricia Calderon, Emmanuel Iway, Jesus Marquez, and Mark Anthony Santos. To the Committee on Veterans Affairs and Welfare, as member, Solomon R. Chungalao. To the Committee on Visayas Development, as Vice Chairpersons, Jesus Jess R. Marquez, and as members, Mercedes K. Alvarez, Florencio Milaflores, and Emmanuel Iway. To the Committee on Welfare of Children, Romanti Romulo, Rebecca Inares. To the Committee on Women and Gender Equality, as Vice Chairpersons, Patricia Calderon. As member, Mercedes Alvarez, Eleanor Bulut Begtang, Giselle Maceda, and Rebecca Inares. To the Committee on Youth and Sports Development, as Vice Chairperson, Dennis L. Hernandez. As members, Jaime Coanco, Antonio Legarda, Emigdio Tanhuatco III, Rebecca Inares. To the Special Committee on Bicol Affairs and Economic Development, as Vice Chairperson, Carlos Loria. To the Special Committee on East Asian Growth Area, as Vice Chairperson, Dimsar M. Sali. To the Special Committee on Food Security, Rudy S. Kawagdagan. I so move.
Is there any objection? The chair hears none. The motion is approved. Majority Leader,
Mr. Speaker, I move to suspend session for a few minutes.
session suspended. Session resumed.
Mr. Speaker, pursuant to our rules, today being a Monday, I move to open the privilege hour.
Is there any objection? Hearing none, the motion is approved. Majority Leader,
Mr. Speaker, I move to recognize the gentleman from Four-Piece Party List, the Honorable Marcelino Libanan, to avail of the privileged hour.
The minority leader is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, esteemed colleagues, good afternoon. As early as the second half of the 14th century, the concept of impeachment emerged in England as a means of holding high officials to account for misconduct. In 1787, it was adopted into the United States Constitution, granting the House of Representatives power to impeach and the Senate the power to try impeachments. The United States later introduced impeachment to the Philippines during the Commonwealth period through the 1935 Constitution. This framework adopted the U.S. model, specifying the grounds for removing the President, Vice President, Justices of the Supreme Court, and the Auditor General. It granted the House the power to impeach by a two-thirds vote and the Senate the power to convict by a three-fourths vote. While the 1935 Constitution laid the foundation, the 1973 and the 1987 Constitutions refined both the process and the grounds for impeachment. The 1973 Constitution, under a parliamentary system, gave the National Assembly the exclusive power to initiate, try, and decide all cases of impeachment against the President, Supreme Court justices, and the members of the constitutional commissions for culpable violation of the Constitution, treason, bribery, other high crimes, or graft and corruption. The 1987 Constitution, which restored the bicameral Congress, preserved impeachment under Article 11, Section 2 and 3. It specifies the impeachable officials, the exclusive power of the House to initiate, and the sole authority of the Senate to try impeachment cases. It likewise grants both chambers the constitutional right to promulgate its own rules to govern impeachment proceedings. For 90 years, this system stood. But on July 25, 2025, the Supreme Court of the Philippines rendered its decision in Duterte versus House of Representatives, GR number 278353, and changed the course of our constitutional practice. Mr. Speaker, I will not belabor the chorus of voices calling the decision gravely erroneous in fact and in law. Rather, I will focus on its adverse effects and ominous consequences to our constitutional duty to demand accountability from high officials. The decision not only declared void ab initio the plenary-approved articles of impeachment against the Vice President Sara Duterte, transmitted to the Senate on February 5, 2025, it also ruled that she was denied due process under the Bill of Rights. The court held that due process applies at all stages of impeachment and imposed 7 new due process requirements on the House. Per Supreme Court decision in Duterte versus House of Representatives et al., GR 278353, July 5, 2025, due process requirements in impeachment proceedings are as follows. Number 1, the articles of impeachment or resolution must include evidence when shared with House members, especially those who are considering its endorsement. Number 2, evidence should be sufficient to prove the charges in the articles of impeachment. Number 3, the articles of impeachment and the supporting evidence should be available to all members of the House of Representatives, not only those who are being considered to endorse. Number 4, the respondent in the impeachment complaint should have been given a chance to be heard on the articles of impeachment and the supporting evidence to prove the charges prior to its transmittal to the Senate, despite the number of endorsements from House members. Number 5, the House of Representatives must be given a reasonable time to reach their independent decision of whether they can endorse an impeachment complaint. The court, however, has the power to review whether this period is sufficient, but petitioner who invokes on the court's power to review should prove that officials failed to perform their duties properly. Number 6, the basis of any charge must be for impeachable acts or omissions committed in relation to their office and during their current term of the impeachable officer. For the President, the Vice President, these acts must be sufficiently grave, amounting to the crimes described in Article 11, Section 2, a betrayal of public trust given by majority of the electorate. For the other impeachable officers, the acts must be sufficiently grave that they undermine and underweight the respect of their constitutional independence and autonomy. Number 7, to ensure that respondent in the impeachment complaint is heard under the requirements of due process in the procedure under Article 11, Section 3, subparagraph 4, the House of Representatives is required to, letter A, provide a copy of the articles of impeachment and its accompanying evidence to the respondent to give him or her an opportunity to respond within a reasonable period to be determined by the House rules. The Constitution only requires an opportunity to be heard. It is up to the respondent to waive this fundamental right and opt to present his or her evidence at the Senate trial. And letter B, make the articles of impeachment with its accompanying evidence and the comment of the respondent available to all members of the House of Representatives. It is the House, not 1/3 of the House, that has the sole prerogative to initiate impeachment complaints. Thus, there must be some modicum of deliberation so that each member representing their constituents can be heard and thus convince others of the position. That transmittal, however, will only take place upon the qualified vote of 1/3 of the House. That was the decision of the Supreme Court on the 7 requirements, Mr. Speaker. These requirements are nowhere found in the Constitution. They amount to a direct intrusion into the House's exclusive constitutional authority to adopt its own impeachment rules. Many call this judicial overreach. I say it is judicial amendment of the Constitution. The right of the House to promulgate its own rules is clearly and plainly stated in our fundamental law. It is not for the Supreme Court to write rules and for the House to follow. The judiciary has the vital role of interpreting laws, including the Constitution. But that role does not extend to amending it. The power to interpret does not include the power to rewrite, Mr. Speaker. Yet, the decision effectively rewrote our impeachment rules, imposing requirements that are impractical, if not impossible, to fulfill. First, it mandates the House furnish the respondent with the articles of impeachment and supporting evidence to allow them to respond before transmittal to the Senate. But the Constitution requires referral to the complaint to the proper committee within 3 session days, an impossible time frame for debate, notification, comment, and hearing. Failure to meet this deadline renders such proceedings unconstitutional. Second, it requires that articles supporting evidence and the respondent's comment be made available to all members. This opens the process to sabotage. A single member could invalidate proceedings simply by claiming they were not furnished or did not understand the documents. Such a scenario could not have been intended by the framers. Third, it holds that mere filing of an impeachment complaint, acted upon or not, constitutes initiation and triggers the one-year bar. This dangerous precedent allows a crony to file a frivolous complaint the moment the bar expires, effectively shielding an impeachable official from real accountability year after year. The cumulative effect of this pronouncement is to ensure that the impeachment against the Vice President and future impeachments against any official will not survive. One must ask, did the members of the Supreme Court wittingly or unwittingly shield themselves from impeachment? Let us remember, the last impeachment case before the Vice Presidents involved a sitting Supreme Court justice. Mr. Speaker, the Venerable Senator Claro M. Recto, principal drafter of the 1935 Constitution, must be turning in his grave. But not all is lost. The people's right to demand accountability from their highest officials must remain our guiding principle. This decision, while formidable, is not an insurmountable barrier. We must explore every avenue, navigate every obstacle, and take even the narrowest path to fulfill our constitutional duty. This House shall not bow in silence. The House has already filed its motion for reconsideration. The Honorable Supreme Court still has the opportunity to rectify its ruling, to issue a decision aligned with the facts, the letter and spirit of the Constitution, the principle of separation of powers, checks and balances, established precedent, and most importantly, the people's right to demand accountability. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, my dear colleagues.
Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker,
Mr. Speaker, may this representation be recognized, please. Just a couple of clarificatory questions for the Honorable Minority Leader on the points he discussed. Mr. Speaker?
Mr. Speaker, I would like to recognize the Honorable Laila de Lima, ML Party List, for her interpellation.
Honorable
O clarification.
Laila de Lima is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, this is my
Thank you.
time as the one who gave the privileged speech. I would like to accommodate the Honorable Laila de Lima to my precious time for her to interpolate this representation. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable
Thank you.
de Lima, you may proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and thank you, Honorable Minority Leader Libanan. Just on 2 points touched in the very informative, privileged speech of the Honorable Minority Leader. He actually outlined the history of impeachment, and he mentioned the 1935 and the 1973 constitutions as precursors of the now, our present 1987 Constitution. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Minority Leader, isn't it that in both the 1935 Constitution and the 1973 Constitution, the only recognized modes of impeachment were was the direct filing of impeachment complaint by a segment of the members of the House of Representatives, and that it's only in the 1973 Constitution that the two other modes, namely complaint by a member of the House and a complaint by any citizen or group of citizens as endorsed by the members of the House of Representatives. Isn't that the very significant changes between the 1935 and 1973 constitutions on one hand and the present 1987 Constitution? Do you agree, Mr. Minority Leader?
Mr. Speaker, if my recollection serves me right, I think the Honorable De Lima is correct on that.
The reason why I pointed that out, Mr. Speaker, is that just to highlight the fact that the mode, which is actually the third mode, but referred to in the Supreme Court decision in Duterte versus House of Representatives as second mode, was the only mode under 1973 and 1987, and 1935 and 1973 Constitution on one hand, and then in the 1987, two other modes were added, which highlights the fact that indeed, with respect to the direct filing by 1/3 of the members of the House of Representatives, it is meant to be governed by a separate provision than those imposed whenever it's the first two modes that are at hand. In other words, why apply the same requirements of due process for the direct filing by 1/3 when this is specifically assigned or imposed only on the first two modes of filing, that is private citizen, member of the House, a private citizen endorsed by the House of Representatives. Would you agree with that proposition, Mr. Minority Speaker? Minority Leader?
That is correct, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, thank you. I think we will have enough time for that to discuss that in the Rules Committee. Now, on the second point, the due process requirement. Would you agree with the position of this representation, and I think this is shared by many others, that it is not proper to impose the due process requirement when it comes to the third mode, referred to as the second mode in the decision of the Supreme Court, July 25 decision, that is direct filing by 1/3 of the members of the House, because precisely the requirement of due process is something that will be met at the Senate level during the trial itself. And then when we talk about the very concept or definition of due process, that is Section 1 of Article 3, Bill of Rights, no person shall be deprived of life, liberty, and property without due process of law. There is no deprivation of life, of liberty, or property for in the impeachment, because the penultimate, the only sanction or penalty of impeachment or conviction, in case of conviction after the impeachment trial, is just removal from office and not imprisonment, not fine, nothing except removal from office. Do you agree with that proposition, Mr. Minority Leader?
I agree to that, Mr. Speaker.
That is all, those 2 points, just to highlight those very significant points in favor of the whole context of the privileged speech of the Honorable Minority Leader. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Majority Leader?
Mr. Speaker, I move to refer the speech of the Honorable Libanan.
Mr. Speaker, may I be recognized?
To the Committee on Rules for its appropriate action.
Just to
Motion to
interpolate
suspend,
the
Mr.
distinguished minority leader.
Session suspended. Session resumed.
Mr. Speaker,
Majority Leader.
I move to withdraw my pending motion. Would like to recognize Honorable Marcoleta.
Mr. Speaker, I'd like to ask if the distinguished minority leader will yield to a few questions and to make a manifestation from his speech. Thank you.
I will gladly accommodate the request of...
Honorable Marcoleta is
Honorable
recognized.
Mr. Speaker, you enumerated earlier that the Supreme Court has added new rules on impeachment, specifically the furnishing of a copy of the articles of impeachment along with the evidence, pieces of evidence to the one impeached. Is that correct, Mr. Speaker?
That is correct, Mr. Speaker.
And along with that, you also said that each signatory to the impeachment complaint should have read in its entirety the articles of impeachment before signing it. And in your own opinion, it is another rule added by the Supreme Court.
That is what the Supreme Court stated, Mr. Speaker.
Manghihilang ko, partner.
And our distinguished colleague, Ma'am Laila de Lima, said that due process is not needed here in this particular case. But in my personal opinion, Mr. Speaker, due process is intrinsically embedded in all judicial, even administrative processes. It need not be construed specifically in the Constitution. Halimbawa po, kung tayo ay magtatanggal ng empleyado sa kumpanya, kahit wala naman pagtatangka sa kanyang buhay, we also accord due process to the person that we are about to remove from office. Usually, tayo po we ask for an explanation letter dun sa empleyado kung bakit niya, why he or she has breached a company policy. In other words, meron pong due process. And I think it need not be specifically stated in every ruling. And I think dapat po talaga intindihin natin ang judicial, ang due process ay nandyan nananalaytay sa lahat ng ating mga batas.
Mr. Speaker, ang impeachment po ay a class of its own. May tinatawag na substantive due process, procedural due process, administrative due process. At dito naman sa impeachment, ang sinasabi po ng kanina sa interpellation, na ang process na ito, pag pumirma ang 1/3 of all the members, hindi naman nawawala ang sabi, wala dito yung due process dahil ang penalty dito, sabi po ng Honorable De Lima, ay removal from office, ang pinaka-harsh na penalty. Hindi yung katulad sa criminal or administrative. Pero, Madam Speaker, sa ganang impeachment po, ay pag pumirma po ng 1/3 of all the members of the House at sinumiti po ito sa Senado, nandoon pa rin ang due process. Kasi doon po ay may karapatan makinig at hear yung mga depensa po ng ini-impeach.
Opo. Kung ito pong impeachment ay alang-alang sa accountability, hindi po ba dapat natin habulin ang Vice President sa Ombudsman at sa ibang mga korte? Sapagkat sa tingin ko, kung ang sanction lang ng impeachment ay tanggalin ang Pangulo sa kanyang pagkakaupo, hindi po siya mananagot ng maigi dun sa kanyang alleged misuse of confidential funds. Di ba dapat managot din siya sa kanyang di umano'y idinispalto na pera? Di po ba? We should seek other remedies like cases before the Ombudsman at ano pang mga korte.
Madam Speaker, yung privilege speech ko po ay hindi po tungkol sa paghahabol sa Vice President. Ang privilege speech ko po ay tungkol po sa desisyon ng Supreme Court na gumawa po ng maraming requirements sa House of Representatives tungkol sa impeachment na exclusive power of the House of Representatives. Ganun po ang aking binitawang privilege speech, Madam Speaker.
Just to reiterate, the topic of the Honorable Marcelo Libanan, our Minority Leader, is Senate action to archive the impeachment case of Vice President Sara Duterte.
Mr. Speaker, distinguished Minority Leader, yung po bang sinabi ng Korte Suprema ay are we being precluded to initiate impeachment complaints or we're just being taught on how to file a correct impeachment complaint by complying with procedural steps? Tayo po ba'y binabawalan talaga ng Korte Suprema o tayo tinuturuan lamang kung paano maghain ng tamang impeachment complaint?
Before the Minority Leader responds, since the question of the Honorable Marcoleta is directed towards the action of the 19th as well as the 20th Congress, may we request the Senior Deputy Majority Leader to respond?
Madam Speaker, we appreciate the exchange of the gentlemen regarding the impeachment as well as the decision of the Supreme Court. May I be allowed to raise a point of order, Madam Speaker?
May we know the point of order of the Majority Leader?
Madam Speaker, the discussion has been towards whether or not the House can exercise certain powers, especially in initiating impeachment complaints. However, may I remind our members that we have a pending motion for reconsideration with the Supreme Court. Thus, we cannot discuss the same with finality this afternoon during the privilege hour. May I request the gentlemen if we can hold further deliberations, heated deliberations in the future, so that we can wait until our motion for reconsideration has been decided with finality by the Supreme Court.
What does the Honorable Marcoleta say?
May I proceed with my manifestation, Mr. Speaker?
Madam
Majority
Speaker,
Leader.
can we let the Honorable Marcoleta finish his manifestation before we proceed to the next speaker to avail of the privilege hour? Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Majority Leader, I believe the Honorable Libanan as well as the other members of the House are actually, we have 22 members listed for the privilege hour.
That's right, Madam Speaker.
So I believe a manifestation can be taken up at the appropriate time once the privilege hour has been closed.
Madam Speaker, I have already registered my intention to make a manifestation.
Madam Speaker, a manifestation would be in order. Let's allow the Honorable Marcoleta to finish his short manifestation before we conclude the privilege speech and refer the same to the Committee on Rules.
The Majority Leader's request is hereby granted.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.